happens a little bit. Right? Yeah, it's like, geez, dude, did homie gotta figure out the code? Nah, you had it. You knew all of that. Everybody knows that. There's a lot of that. So I think I don't think some of the stars of today are not doing themselves a lot of favors. The overexposure to your favorite star, I don't think it's doing you a lot of favors. I really don't. Here's the other thing. Actors are starting to complain about TikTok. And I'm happy because it's young people in Hollywood. Because I said, I'm in this weird place now. That when I was 28, if I had the same exact opinion I have right now, people are like, that's what I love about him, bro. He's bold as balls. He'll go in there and tell people straight what the description of the straight dope. Or, coming from a straight dope, I suppose. But he'll just give it to you. But see, if I have that same opinion now, it's like, I get it, boomer. I get it. You kind of passed it, right? Kind of passed it. But no. Even young Hollywood stars are like, why are we hiring these TikTok people to be in these movies? This is a 9-month process of filming this movie. That fad is going to be over by the time we try to get to the goddamn box office. And they're right. The industry's kind of chasing, like, we talked Val Kilmer yesterday, right? We talked Heat. We talked that movie. Look at the people in that movie. De Niro. First of all, you got to list 2 of them before you even get to Val Kilmer. Yeah, that's just it. In Heat, Val Kilmer is oh yeah, he's in it too. And it's not just people my age now who look at, releases of these movies and go, oh, it's not. Oh, if you know, says more about you than it does about it. I know. But come on, you know a little bit of what I'm talking about here. You add in a little too reboot crazy. And yeah, some of the messaging, like the Snow White thing, let's talk about that, right? That girl went out of her way to try to piss everybody off, to boldly dare you to not watch the movie. And then that's what happened. That's what happened. Is that really what a studio head wants? That's what you want? You know what people said? Oh my God, that movie's for 5-year-olds. It's not for you. I'm sorry, it's not? It's not for my wife? Are we sure? The movie was made in 1930 goddamn 7. Her and her mother, grandmother, they all had it longer than this 5-year-old's had it. The 5-year-old didn't even know it was a movie. But my wife did. She grew up with it and loved it. It's not for her? You're lying about that. When something's that big, when it is decades long, when it is legacy, when it is establishment, it's for the people who watched it and loved it before a little bit. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. That was crazy. What they did there was nuts. It was crazy. That woman went out there and dared people not to see the movie. And then that's what they did. They're creating some of their own problems. But you got to get back to stars. You got to get back to stars. So how do we do it? Watch now as the boomer screaming white angry man tells you how. Get young Hollywood off of the goddamned internet. Get them off of it. Set the trend that it's passé, that it's old, that it's what your mother does now. 50-year-olds with TikTok dances looking like 9-year-olds. Make it uncool. Because when you take that arena away from people, they have less a chance of canceling you, dope. And they have to come to you more for the entertainment. And who the hell is Timothy Chalamet? Who is he? Now, industry, it's a little on you too. Because you can't stand in a studio's office and demand that they not pimp you and whore you like that on social media until you've made enough movies like him. Understand the business you are in. You are in the star-making business. And who the hell is that person is how you build stars. Some things never go out of style. They just don't. Leave them wanting more? Abandoning that in the entertainment space was one of the craziest things I have ever seen.
The Stansberry Show on Rock 106.9.
We'll examine the phenomena of loud looking next hour here on the program. We have been talking about the movies a little bit, and everybody's got a reason why box offices are down. the streaming model, which we didn't even talk about, more and more things, more and more, becoming more and more popular for you to watch at home. And that's actually what Cinema United CEO, what he wants. Michael O'Leary, he said, let's just create the model. Can we stop pretending that we don't know what the fix is? Let's just implement it and move forward. He's talking about how, the issue is that everybody's trying to pit us against one another. Movie theaters and the streaming services and this. He's like, just create the industry standard. And what he's looking for is, it's 45 days. Minimum. It's in the theater. It will not stream a minimum of 45 days. Only in theaters. Now, I actually like the idea. I don't think it's extreme enough. Some of you my age and closer to it will remember when we were kids, you had to wait forever for those VHS tapes to come out. Because they knew they could sell it to you, but they wanted to get you at the theater a few more times too, and they could put movies back in, and they could do a lot of it. I don't think it's you don't stream it for 45 days when it's in the theater. I think you don't stream it for another 45 days after it leaves the theater. Or you just come out and say, the movie comes out June 1st, and for the next 90 days, the only place you can get it is the movie theater. I think it does have to be 90. Now, you can make the argument, and plenty of people will to me, that today, that the attention span of the average person and the amount of movies that are coming out, 45 is probably going to be enough. Oh my God, I forgot that was in the theater. Now, right? Maybe. I don't know how you combat what makes me want to see something in the theater. That's the other issue for me as the consumer. And I, by the way, plan on going to the movies. It won't be. I think the movie I want to see, I think comes out Friday. I could be wrong. Maybe it's next week. And I won't go the day it comes out, but I'll go after work, middle of the afternoon, see it by myself. And it's a movie you do not have to see in the theater, I don't believe, at all. But they're doing a movie, I've already done it, it's coming out, where, let me see here. It's about the game show Press Your Luck. I'm sorry, I should have looked up the name of that movie. But that's an interesting subject matter for me. I remember loving that show as a kid. I remember the scandal of somebody just kind of figuring out the algorithm or the system of how, the squares worked and all that stuff. Big bucks, no whammy, here we go, right? And so, I remember that, the whammy and the cartoon coming across the screen. And when I stayed home from school, it was like, pressure, right? It was like that kind of thing. That was it. So, I'm very interested in that. I've read a book about it. And I forget the guy's name, but he's very... The guy who they got to play the role is an actor I do like. He was in that I, Tonya movie, and he was so good in that. He's been good in a lot of things. So I'm going to go to the theater to see that movie. One day after work, because my life is empty and nobody loves me. Because I got all day to kill. But, that doesn't feel like a pull you into the theater. I have to see this in the theater. We talked a lot yesterday with Val Kilmer, the difference between an actor and a movie star. It seems like these days the Tom Hanks types are like, I'm not a movie star, I'm an actor. And The Rock is a movie star, right? It's a dirty word, essentially. And I understand the argument. I'm more likely to want to see a movie star in a theater than I am an actor. An actor is going to leap off the screen on my 75-inch TV in my living room. Because it's about the performance. An actor will leap right off that screen and connect with me right there. A movie star, where I have to forget that they're standing in front of a green screen, nobody's in the same room right now, right? And all of that, when I have to forget that, big, bombastic, and the sound, and the bang, and you're dumb and forget how we put this together piecemeal, right? Dope, right? When it's that, then pull me into the thing. Now, again, we're talking about my experience and what I would maybe be looking for. I've said this about the theater, too. For me, a consumer, the horror movie makes all the sense in the world. That makes a ton of sense. I'm now feeding off of your anticipation, your anxiety. My friend and I talked about it differently last night. She said, I'm dating this guy, and he apologized to me. But afterwards, I could just feel it, he didn't mean it, and he was sitting there. And you know how people say, you can just tell they're mad, even... I said, yeah, I always call it my piss is radiating off of me. And she said, yes, that right there. Yes, you can feel people's emotions. You can feel the tense, the tight. And us feeding off that together in that environment is, I think, good for the experience. Once upon a time, a listener of mine convinced me to watch a movie called it's called A Quiet Place. They've made more of these. There's 2, and then like Day 1 or whatever. I haven't, but somebody convinced me to watch A Quiet Place, and I didn't think I was going to like it at all. Justin was 1,000% right. Idiot, and it's like, and it literally is just conversations at a diner. How much of that do I need on the big screen? How much of that do I really need? I don't know. You start talking date movie, okay, all right. I don't know if people don't seem to want to sit through a meal together anymore, so I can't imagine people are like, oh yeah, let's go to, and the movies has always been a weird thing with the date, right? Because people are like, oh, we're going to take you to do something where we don't talk. That seems strange. I'm trying to get to know you. Let's not speak. Now, again, I don't know if we could go as far as to call him a cinephile, but like one of the bigger movie fans I have in my audience is a guy named Justin. And he once upon a time set me straight on it. And he said, well, people do this wrong. He said, just because everybody's been doing this wrong doesn't mean it's a bad idea, Dylan. I've been doing it wrong? Okay, well, fill me in, buddy. How am I doing it wrong? How am I watching a movie and eating carbohydrates wrong? How am I doing it? And he said, well, people go to dinner and they go to the movie. He's like, that's really dumb. He's like, what you should do is go to the movie and then go to dinner, and now you have something to talk about at dinner. And I literally took 2 minutes, wrote right back. I was like, oh my God, I've been doing it wrong. I said, oh my God, I've been watching movies and eating carbohydrates in the wrong fashion. You are right. That was, when he said that to me, it was like one of those eye-opening, easy, should-have seen it, Seinfeldian things. It was like, yes, of course that's what you would do. Duh. If we're actually trying to get to know one another versus just rip our clothes off and have sex, right? Like, they're actually trying to get to know. But, like, that is a good one. But for me, the romantic comedy in the theater, I think this is where the business model is suffering a little bit of a problem. And that's why we're getting Thor hammer-shaped popcorn buckets. And it's why, I mean, it's literally why. Is because so much of what they're making now, you don't necessarily need their model for. You don't really. We could also add this. Cinematic television is maybe better than ever. Thanks, Sopranos. I mean, I'm kidding, but like they kind of they helped kill off the movie. I mean, and ironically, where did The Sopranos air? HBO is where that aired. Now, of course, those of you my age, you know what I'm about to say right now, don't you? Because you remember back in the day, the original logo when it would come up before the movie over the city and big silver letters, HBO. And then what would it say after that? Home box office. That's what it said after that. Home box office. And sure enough, through them showing me the movies of the day, then they realized we kind of need our own thing. Here comes cinematic television, and they helped push that door wide open. And that's just it. The television studios are home box offices. Most of you think Breaking Bad, you're wrong about it, but most of you think Breaking Bad is on par with Hamlet. Like, so television has also gotten to a place where it's like, dude, if TV can do this, why am I driving to the Strip to watch you do this for an hour and a half?
The Stansberry Show.
I just wish I hadn't drunk all that cough syrup.
On Rock 106.9.
Welcome back to the Stansberry Show. The NFL is banking on you and I wanting more of their product. We probably do. Apparently, the success of the 2024 Christmas Day NFL game will be relived. But we're getting an additional game. Commissioner Roger Goodell announced plans for a triple header of NFL games this coming Christmas. You'll get 2 games on Netflix and 1 game on Amazon Prime. The holiday falling on Thursday in 2025. The league did not want to withhold a game from its broadcast partner Amazon for their Thursday Night Football coverage. That part makes a lot of sense. I'm sure their partner is going to be like, they get 2, we get 1. I don't know how the Bezos, Sarandos, I don't know how that's, we'll have to see the measuring contest at the urinal at the Streamers Awards about how that goes between those two. But apparently in 2024, the games we saw on Netflix, Those were viewed in 218 countries, according to Barrett Media. That brought in 26.5 million viewers in our country, here in the United States. They say the full NFL schedule is set to be announced, obviously, mid-May, and that's how normally when we get that, that's right on the opposite side of the draft there. 3 games. Now, it's interesting to me because of this, because the problem, you really are encroaching on another sport. And I don't know if you care about that being, you're the NFL, and it's like, well, it's not my job to prop the NBA up. Like, it isn't. But the NBA's kind of had this, and all sports kind of have it, right? Like, people with their baseball fandom are like, early, middle of the season, like, all right, I gotta check out for a little bit. All-Star break, where are we? And then postseason baseball is some of the best stuff I've ever seen, right? That's the average person with a baseball. Hockey kind of has that, right? It kind of has 2 seasons. NBA around the league has been is that, yes, the league starts here, but Christmas Day is when we get kicked off. The NFL has traditionally been your Thanksgiving, and the NBA kind of would save their big matchups for Christmas Day. Lakers, Celtics, you take, you know what I mean? You get a lot of that kind of stuff. Lakers, Cavs, Warriors was what you would get for a little while, when that was going on. And all of that, probably Lakers, Warriors too, right? So, since LeBron's been there for a little while. And that made sense to me. Like, you're looking to wrap yourself around a television, set. You're looking to get those eyeballs when people are sitting around, halfway paying attention to, Aunt Stacy or whatever the hell the thing is. And God forbid it be your franchise you like. Now all of a sudden it's like, well, we got a holiday and this bonding experience we have together in our living room, and it actually now kind of makes the experience all the better. And, whether or not you like games or this and that, you find yourself fourth quarter, the whole family's there, and you find yourself with a game 97-97, it's going to be easy to pull yourself into that environment. I kind of got it. The NFL, and I don't know if I would call it complaining, I'm sure you would, but I've been noticing for a while that the NFL is chasing some of the stuff about the NBA I'm not sure I love. More and more player mobility. Now the trades are fun to talk about and all of that. More and more international game. I don't necessarily want that with my NFL viewing. I really don't. I worry about that and getting a little too spread out and, and facing that. But like the NFL, again, they're already looking at this is, when people talk to you about a globalist agenda, look at the sports. It is in your sports. That's the next, because that's the only way to make as much money as they want around the world. The NBA started to chase a little bit more of that, and they knew they could do it because their players have a little bit more of an international appeal, and a lot of them are international. We bred football players here in Kansas and in Texas and in Florida, and you bet your ass right here in Ohio. They're homegrown. But the NFL they understand the game here. They understand where the world is headed now. It's global viewership is what that's the net. Why do you think they're trying to push private ownership out and bring more corporate ownership groups into the teams? Global. They don't want another Jerry Jones. They don't want another Jimmy Haslam. They'll continue to ride out with the good private ownership they have currently, but once those are gone, it'll be more IBM. Makes sense. It's where the money is. More eyes. More viewership. Are you mad that we painted a little phrase in the end zone? Global now, bro. Tell it walking. I mean, right? And if you're in the business and you're looking to make money, they're looking to get more. You want to look at it as, you and I want to look at it as like they're looking to make sure no one market is so important that you're beholden to it. I want all the markets. And if I have them all, these 14 markets can get me through while you're having a temper tantrum. These 25 markets will get me through. And you know what? They want that artist to play the championship game. So cry about it tomorrow. And no matter who that is, who they feel like telling that to, it's not like, wait, they're going to make sure you absolutely suffer. That's not what I'm saying. But the more people you bring into the party, you don't notice if people leave the party. As long as it's raging on, anybody who pulls into the driveway is going to walk in. That's just it. Nobody wants to start a party. Everybody wants to get to one that's like,
how's it going?
Dude, look at this. That's what people want. And that's what they're trying to do. But if you're the NBA, man, you kind of have to hate this a little bit. Where are you checking in from? There, and they were being bold about chasing that whole international thing. But the NFL, even though everybody wants to talk trash about Roger Goodell, he's such a big dumb earlier. You know what you and I did? We talked a little bit about loud looking. Professional male porn. Professional male porn. I don't understand this. I do not. So one night we're at her place, paid for by her sugar daddy, and she's like, "Oh my God, you know who I slept with last night?" Who? And she showed me a photo on her phone. She goes, "Yep, you recognize him?" I was like, "Yeah, I think I might." She goes, "Yeah, it's that porn star." She goes, "Yeah." I said, "You slept with him?" I said, "You did?" "Yeah." I said, "How was it?" "Damn." He gets paid to use that big penis. He gets paid to use it, Dan. She's like, "It was amazing," is what it was. Like, it was amazing. I said, "Was it like the movie?" She's like, "I asked him in the middle of it, give me a little at-work sex." She's like, "I had to ask him." I was like, "And then he gave you some at-work stuff?" She's like, "Did he ever?" Now, this young lady, known to be a little promiscuous, and you could see by the look in her eye, any idea I had of having sex with her just went, I mean, dude, it got pulled right out of my body right then and there. I was like, we're friends for life. There comes, you know what I mean? Just out cold, dude. Like, out cold. And that's the point. I made this mistake with my wife. Forget that. I made this mistake with my golf clubs once. Oh, dude, there I was. Orville, miserable, couldn't hit a ball, right? And I'm standing there with my buddy HJ in a par 5. And I hit my 3-wood. I was like, this club sucks. He's played on the mini tour. He's like, give it to me. Right? Hits it to 6 feet from the goddamn pin. He's like, put it back in your bag before it goes in mine. I could not look at that club again. It's in Dustin's bag now. I got rid of it. Once I saw what it could do and I couldn't do it to it, I was like, how the hell do I hold this thing ever again? That was with my Cobra 3-wood. You think I want to do it with my wife? What the hell is the matter with you? I could maybe get too many drinks out there on the boat, right off, right, talked into a little bit of a key party, slept with somebody you know. That I could maybe get. I could maybe get, all right, we're hitting the website and here we go, we get a stranger. Hey, gotta be worried about the venereal disease and all, okay, all right, whatever, everybody get your shots or whatever, and then, you know, you go in there, okay. I could see that. Sending your wife to a professional sex dude, like, I'm sorry, man. Like, I just don't, like, that's like, hey, you know what I mean? Imagine being able to hire me to yell at your wife. Dude! Can that be a thing? Like, if I get fired, dude, that's it. I'll yell at wives. Dude, pay me. That's like the sickest version of Cammy. Sucks. Oh my God, that sounds like, dude, I actually want to do that now. I don't get the hot wife. Listen to what these guys say about this, by the way. Sienna and Logan are talking about it, right? And Logan explained, it's kind of like letting your friend test drive your car. Yeah, I don't really do that a whole lot. Like, I brought up the golf clubs thing, and it did suck when I watched H hit that club. It sucked. But, like, if I go out and play on Saturday, the group behind me, yo, man, I've always wanted to hit one of those PX3 drivers. Let me hit that thing. No, dude, what the hell's the matter with you? No. Because that is like asking to have sex with my wife, my driver. Are you kidding me? Dude, I would rather watch her move out tomorrow than have this thing going. Are you kidding me? I will wave at her ass as she leaves, bro, to keep this club. Have you lost your mind? Like, no, you're not hitting it. But a friend of mine, yes. But, like, I don't know if I can look my friend in the face again. I mean, I've had threesomes and this stuff, man. It gets tough. It gets tricky. I found for me, this is anecdotal, that cocaine makes a lot of stuff that you think you want to try, like, all right, right, like that kind of cocaine puts you in the, all right, they will do that. Sobriety normally is like, that sounds like it's going to be a good idea, but on the other side of it, I'm not sure I'm going to enjoy it as much. This is crazy. Logan went on to say, he gets to see how well it rides. He has to give it. No, I think what gives me more pride, and maybe this is about my personality type, is that, yeah, you bet your ass you want to have sex with her. But I'm not going to let you. You know what I mean? I'm not going to let you. And so, like, wanting, again, create the want. That part I would like. Alex now, the other husband, said he had never done anything, Rebecca, and he won't speak to her anymore. Sure. But